Yeti stereo. Okay, now it's working. And you can still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So wait, say something? I just need to...
Super drugs. I love super drugs.
Okay. Okay. So, we're doing a after action report on this diplomacy game I had on Backstabber. I've got Mr. Torchman here to help me review this.
Hello.
Just cause
I'm the neutral party.
maybe having just me would be a little biased. So we brought in I brought in another person. So let's get started.
Isn't there like 7 players on the board?
Yeah,
It'll
here's
be
here.
hard to keep up with everything.
Well, I'll just use the country names for convenience. All right, so here we got the here's the board. We've got all the countries, right? It's World War One, and
Yes, yes.
we've got Fluff, we've got Spencer as
We have
France,
France.
we've got Klob as Germany. Obviously, I'm Italy. You know, it's my video, right? And then the East we have the WhatsApp dog, we have
What the god?
Lock123N, and we have Lemon as Turkey.
We have lemon.
Mm-hmm. All right, so oh yeah, this is I didn't click through the slideshow.
Can't believe you forgot about those people.
So here's the map. Here's where everyone is, just for like convenience sake, right? And
Hmm.
so spring 1901, right? It's pretty standard game. I was talking with Austria, right? I was like, we should be allies because if we're not allies, well, you saw what happened in the last game. What happened in the last game was
Yes.
they got entrenched in a war between them, and they both got taken out by Russia-Turkey alliance. So our main goal was to eliminate Turkey, right? Just make sure Turkey is off the map as quickly as possible, just because Turkey is our biggest threat, just immediately.
What about Austria though? They're like in the between.
We're allying. I'm allying with Austria. It's a
Oh yeah.
Italy Austria alliance. We're not sure about Russia.
Yeah, I thought you were arguing.
Russia's kind of a loose cannon. If they ally with Turkey, that's a bad thing. So we're gonna try and make them, you know, not ally.
Okay, there's like on Germany or something.
And the West, I really don't know. We really had no idea what was going on with the West. So let's look at the moves then. So I'm doing a Lepanto here, and Austria's doing pretty standard gameplay. Russia makes the first of many blunders, as we'll see. He's trying to move a fleet into Ukraine, which has no coast, so you can't do that.
That won't work.
No, that's not gonna work. They didn't even try and bounce in Galicia. Like, they just let Austria move in everywhere. Turkey is in a really powerful position here. They've got Khan and they've got the Black Sea because Russia didn't bounce. They didn't try to bounce.
Yeah.
And France is doing a pretty standard opening, and England is like aggressive against Germany and France, which is like,
Nothing interesting happening here. Just the usual.
I mean, that's a pretty bold move. So we can kind of assume. Oh, I deleted it. We can kind of assume that there is no Western triple, right? And it's seemingly since France didn't move to Piedmont, I successfully pacified France for the time being. So let's go to fall 1901, right? So here's the map, and I'm discussing with Austria like, okay, I'm gonna convoy Apulia to Tunisia, right? And you're gonna take Greece, and we're gonna try and make sure that Turkey is stuck where they are. They can't build another useful fleet unless it's in Constantinople because they kept in Smyrna. Well, they could move out of Smyrna, but that's probably not gonna happen, right? I'm not really sure about the West. Like, we really don't care about the West. As long as, like,
because
Russia has
so
them
far out.
distracted. As long as Russia has them distracted, which seemingly they do. And, our alliance is really dependent on what Russia does, basically. And, well, I feel like I feel like this map speaks for itself. So I'm moving into Tunisia convoy because that's how you're supposed to do it, and I move into Piedmont because I'm worried that France might move there first, but they're busy defending against Brest, and they could have moved Marseille, Spain, and gotten another build, but they decided not to. They took Portugal with the fleet, There's Bounce in Brest here, and then English convoy into
Germany's
Belgium,
taking Poland.
uncontested, uncontested, and the Germans. Well, they could have contested Sweden, but
Russia did nothing. Ugh.
all of the Eastern powers forgot to put orders. So
Bro.
we're off to a great start. Winter 1901. So France gets a build, Germany gets 2 builds, Austria gets a build, Turkey me, Russia gets no builds though, so they're left behind. So this is what everyone builds. Lots of fleets everywhere. Turkey tries to build 2 things, but they only got 1, so their fleet gets disbanded, which is like thank God, right? And
Bruh.
Germany makes a pretty weird move with building 2 fleets here. We'll see how that plays out in the future. I'm sure it'll work out great for them. And so, map is solidified. And let's see the moves. So, as expected, right? I'm moving back into Venice because France was like, "What the fuck are you doing in Piedmont?" I was like, "Okay, I'll move. I'll move away." They keep doing something. I mean, it's not like they forgot to put their moves in because they moved Portugal to Spain, but then they didn't do anything else. I really don't know. I'm still setting up my Lepanto here because it takes fucking ages to do. Look, the same thing with Turkey. Like
What was?
they tried moving into Romania, but they didn't support themselves or like do anything to try and do anything else.
Yeah,
So
it's like they're playing without even considering the other players in the game.
Mhm.
Like, oh, let me just move in. Nothing will happen.
I cut them some slack though because this was some people's first game, as we can see with Russia. So
What was that?
not only did they try and they didn't move their south units, they tried convoying on land and with an army. And
Bro.
Germany made a mistake here. They were supposed to support themselves from Holland into Belgium, but they supported Belgium hold and tried to move
Bro.
Army Kiel into Munich. But the English are taking advantage of the Russian and German blunders. They're getting their fleets out. They're getting to Norway.
Yeah, it looks like England is playing really well, unlike the other players.
Yeah, Austria finally moved into Greece like we had discussed, but they move into Tyrolia, which is why did you do that? I don't like that. So, what do we do? Fall 1902, right? I didn't even have to rhyme. Look at this Scandinavian region. All of these fleets got here this year because, none of the places are taken. I finally got my Lepanto set up. So, let's just see the moves, right? Look at this. Turkey didn't see it coming. Also, they just lost Bulgaria. They look, they tried convoying Ankara into Romania with support from Bulgaria, right? But they didn't tell Ankara to move.
Bro. And then Russia takes Romania for free.
Yeah, Russia takes Romania for free because it's uncontested. They finally figured out how the game works, it looks like. And I successfully told Austria to move out of Tyrolia because that's annoying. It's a really annoying position there. France moves Gascony to Burgundy. I guess they finally realized they could move their units as well. Yeah, we just see England really just taking advantage of their allies who are just not organized at all. Right? I'd like to say I'm also doing that, but I don't want to.
What's that action in the south between England, Russia, and Germany? I don't understand that bit.
This part?
Up there in Norway.
Oh, in Norway. Okay.
Norway
So
yeah.
It looks like there's a soft England Russia alliance against this growing Germany. So yeah, hold on. So Norway supports Finland into Sweden, but since he can back up Sweden with a support hold or support command, it doesn't matter. But this Moscow fleet, Moscow fleet, Moscow army is moving north. Still no action out of Warsaw. Common Russian mistake. I did that in my first game too.
I'd move it to Galicia though.
He could, but he didn't.
Right?
And Germany tries dislodging this Belgian unit, but Belgium supports into Holland and bounces Ruhr out. So like it cancels Holland, and so that doesn't have support anymore. So these are bounced out. And since Holland doesn't have any
Mm.
support to hold, he can move in. So probably the better move to make would be support hold Holland, Holland support Ruhr into Belgium, so that he doesn't. There's no chance of
Mm-hmm.
losing anything. But I guess he needed this Baltic fleet. So and then we've
And
got
Austria moves Tyrolia back to Trieste.
yeah Austria. Austria is just moving south. They're moving everything against Turkey. I'm moving everything against Turkey. And these are retreats because Turkey had to retreat and Germany had to retreat. And just look at this, bro. Like you've got everything set up. You even got the support, and then you don't move. That annoys
Oh,
me.
could have worked that so well.
Well, it wouldn't. It would have bounced. It would have bounced Russia out because the support would have been canceled. But that's still annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's the map now. Um, so we can compare. It's a lot more filled out than
Bro,
it was.
you moving Tunisia into Syria is like so devious. I would have never thought about that in a million years.
I'm gonna be honest with you, eFood. I stole it from a video I watched because I would have never come up with that
Bro,
myself either. But
bro.
look at Austria. Austria has like a lot of centers, and
Yeah, but now
England too.
we're now seeing pushback from Russia though, so it may not hold. Especially Budapest is empty,
No, there's no
and so is
pushback.
Vienna.
There's no pushback from Russia. They're stuck in Warsaw. They're not moving. I don't know. I guess
Bro,
the winter was really bad or something. I don't know.
Russia is not surviving the Russian winter.
Russia did not survive the Russian winter. But Austria is looking really useful. Oh, this is the winter. Okay, so obviously I didn't get a build, so that's unfortunate for me. But Austria gets two builds, right? Russia gets a build. Turkey has to disband a unit, which is really nice for me. England gets a few. Does France get a build? I think they get one build. And yeah,
Yeah, they do get one build.
yeah. So kind of what you would expect, other than the fleet Sevastopol. Actually, that would make sense if they actually knew how to use it. But I just like, what is this?
Bro,
What is this?
bro,
You move army St. Petersburg, Sevastopol, and then
bro, you just skipped Moscow.
Romania, support Romania to Smyrna. Like, what are these moves? I
God.
like I thought.
Look at he moved St. Petersburg to Sevastopol. He just skipped Moscow.
And he tried to skip the Black Sea too. And like
Distance is no matter.
you could have dislodged Black Sea uncontested, but instead you go for this bizarre movement strategy, and then you have to disband your Romanian fleet because
No,
Austria
you
takes
don't
that for
understand.
free.
Or not. His goals are beyond your understanding. Just give him a few turns. He'll turn it back. I'm sure. I believe in Russia.
Okay, so
Let's see what happens.
moving out of the Eastern Theater, well, other than the fact that I take Smyrna and move into the Aegean, um, Austria is like moving against me as well, which is really scary. Obviously, I wasn't able to see that before, but I was already colluding with France in this turn because Austria was in Tyrolia. So I was like, okay, France, I'll cut you a deal, right? I'll let you into Piedmont if you move your fleet away, right? He doesn't move his fleet away, but staying in the south coast is also fine. So what the plan is, I'm going to support Piedmont into Tyrolia, and then these will not be able to attack Venice, right? Because I feel like I can trust France enough that they're not going to do that. In the west, we have a quadrilateral here because
Oh.
Kiel support into Holland, but then we've got France being supported by England. I don't know if this was
Yeah,
talked
nothing
about.
happened there basically.
I don't know if this was like talked about or if this was like England just trying like they predicted. I mean, France could have walked into Munich for free, right? And then Germany is landing their fleets for some reason. They get bounced out of Bothnia. England is making some power moves though. Look, they move Edinburgh to Norway so they can attack Russia
And
easier.
they're doing really good.
They move
England
fleet to
is.
Skagerrak. They get London to Belgium. Like they're making money moves, while everyone else is like on the decline. Um, yeah, just look at this. Look at these Russian orders though. That's insane. The only thing that worked was a support hold in Warsaw. Or not support hold. But they
Old
held.
Warsaw.
Old Warsaw. Okay, fall 1903. Germany's got like at this point I'm talking with Germany. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna attack Warsaw. Like with the fleets, and he's like, oh no,
Old
and
Warsaw.
it dawns on him that I'm not gonna last much longer in this game, am I? Because he's fighting a two-front war, but it's not a two-front war because he just wastes 2 units over here with no gains, right? There's no point. There's not fighting here. It's like when you in chess when you have 2 pawns looking right next to each other.
Cannot he go to St. Petersburg? Like move.
He
Levinsky
could, but
with
he can't
Vaal in there.
support himself into there, so he's not gonna get in unless he, gets unless he like actually
Mm.
moves his fleets correctly. If he did like Livonia,
Yeah, and he
Bothnia,
also has
Prussia,
to worry about
Livonia.
England behind his back. Too.
Yeah, because England's got all of these fleets here to support their armies, but Germany just has the armies, so it might be better to
And the
try and
blue
move.
wall of death.
It might be better to try and move the fleets back. Um, I'm gonna try and like attack Turkey. I'm gonna make some like diplomatic dealings. Okay, you were in the St. Patrick's as Italy. I feel like it's really easy to trick Turkey into a false sense of security, even when you have units at their doorstep.
Right? Because I remember in St. Patrick's game, you were in the Ionian, and I was like, oh, that's fine, nothing's gonna happen.
Okay.
And then you
The-
fucking moved it to the age, and I was like, what the hell?
Okay,
And
that was different. That was different.
I
Let's focus
I
on
should
this
not
game.
have let you move into the Ionian at all. But yeah, let's focus on this game.
Okay, so the best Turkey could do to prevent my encroachment on them would be Black Sea support Khan from attacks from the south. I don't know if Turkey is like competent enough to like execute this, and I could ask Russia to tap Black Sea, so I could get Khan for free, right?
Mm.
I don't really have anything else to say. I was trying to think of something.
Yeah. fair
Yeah,
enough.
France.
Next turn.
Yeah, let's look at the moves because it's been a while. As expected, Austria tries to move into Venice, but I think they were trying to. But I think what they were really trying to do was tap Venice, because Venice would support Piedmont into Tyrolia. But I told France to support me in Venice just in case he tries to support Tyrolia into Venice, right? So I take Constantinople.
So yeah, look at what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't really get the memo.
No, let's leave it for later. Let's go back to what you were talking about. Leave it
Yeah.
for the end.
Yeah, I get into Constantinople because Turkey doesn't support Khan. And with a surprise move on Sevastopol from Turkey, they take Sevastopol, which is like incredible in my eyes, I did not predict that at all. Like that sounds so sarcastic. I'm being genuine. England is still moving all of their units against Germany. See, they're supporting into Sweden, but Germany abdicates anyway. Ruhr gets killed because Burgundy moves into Munich, so this unit can't go anywhere. So
God.
I don't know why
Rest in peace.
he should have support held Ruhr rather than Kiel, because what does this achieve, right? He can't support into Kiel.
Yeah. Ruhr is the one being pinched by two different places, not Kiel.
This French fleet in Marseille is a little uncomfortable for me because it's like, why are you so close? Why do you need to be there? But I think I tell him to move out pretty soon. You see, Austria is pretty satisfied with the Balkans, so they're starting to move north against the pretty incompetent Russia. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Here's Germany's orders. So you see, brilliant play. And here's the retreat. So,
Growing the
on to Ankara.
game.
And now the map looks very different, right? Like, check that out. Check out that
Yeah.
change. So Austria is like, they're full power Austria. They've got the entire Balkans in their hands, which is impressive, right? But it won't.
Austria,
It's not gonna last. It's not gonna last.
especially with you in the picture, like being from like two different places.
Oh, of course.
I was
Because,
that
okay, I think that's really funny because I've only had one unit in the Italian peninsula like the whole time.
And nothing happened.
This-
You were in such a vulnerable position, going for Turkey from the front, from down there.
Nothing
happened.
You gotta make your allies early, right? You gotta make your allies early. Okay, so this winter, I just gained two centers, so I'm gonna build a fleet and an army probably. And France, they gotta build. They went to Munich, and poor old Germany has to disband half their navy, over half their navy, and keep this one army in Kiel probably. So let's just see what people do. Look at that, the arc of disband.
Yeah, fair enough. Kill off the ones up there that are like useless, too far away. Fair enough. I see what Germany did.
Yeah, and
It's valid.
I mean, England is they're just snowballing at this point. Like if I'm not even snowballing, but England is, oh my god, it's crazy.
Strong.
Also, interesting move from Turkey. I don't know why they forgot to put their orders in, so Ankara got disbanded automatically. Which
who do you think they should have disbanded in this case, other than Ankara? I guess? Black Sea?
I mean, they could either. I feel like Black Sea is the only one you wouldn't want to disband, because you could disband Sevastopol, right? And then because you're probably gonna, it looks like you're gonna lose Sevastopol anyway, because look at all these units around.
That makes sense.
And you could keep your home center, because I can't support into there. Or you could disband Ankara, and then you hold on to Sevastopol, maybe. Like, if these two aren't working I mean, they are clearly not working together, but, like, you never know. France...
Next turn.
Yeah, let's look at the next turn. Spring 1904. We've already discussed, pretty much. There's just more units on the board at this point. And, I'm moving into Ankara. I think I convince Turkey to support hold, because I'm like, oh, Russia is going to attack you. You better hold on to Sevastopol. So
they just take back Warsaw. Warsaw is more important.
Yeah, but they go after Warsaw, even though it's not under threat. Like, if you really wanted Warsaw, you could have just, like bounced on it. I don't know. Anyway, Austria goes complete defensive mode. Austria goes complete defensive. Look at this. They've got, like, a wall forming on all sides. Very interesting indeed. See, this would have worked if they hadn't made a fleet in Trieste. So because this is a fleet, the support doesn't work, and Piedmont finally gets into Tyrolia, which makes sense, right? Because France has interests near Tyrolia, right? They got Munich.
So this is when you backstab Austria, because you stopped helping them.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to convince Austria that I'm not backstabbing them. But I'm setting up for a stab. I'm also not completely on board with France right now. You can see me supporting Venice just in case, like, them two try and go after it. That's why I made France move into Tyrolia instead of me moving into Tyrolia, because I can stay safe in Venice while this unit gets disbanded or something. Mid-Atlantic goes to North Atlantic, which was really funny at the time because England could do nothing about it. Like, okay, they did move their London to Wales so they could get Liverpool. So I guess they did see it, but it's just like this was really funny to witness as it happened. I feel like Germany makes a pretty sensible move here. They moved. Actually, no, they should have moved Prussia either to Baltic or Berlin. I mean, they were gonna probably Baltic, but they were gonna lose Kiel either way. Better to, because there's no
consolidate
unless France. No, this probably is the best. That's the best they could have done. Another great move from Russia here. Yeah, Finnish try to move into Livonia. I think they did this like 3 times separately in the game. It doesn't work. They're not connected. There's no border there. Whatever.
I love them taking back Warsaw. Hold Warsaw.
Hold Warsaw.
That's probably why they moved. That's probably why they moved.
Austria.
It was just too insecure that Warsaw.
Yeah, Warsaw is their biggest worry right now. I remember talking with Russia, and I'm like, bro, England is going to attack you, and he's like, no, we have an alliance, it's okay. Look at the map, bro. Look at the map. And then Austria has to retreat into Venice. Fall 1904. It's it's not looking good for any power other than England and probably me, because I'm in a really defensive position, right? And England is in a really offensive position.
Good, no?
Yeah, but like they're also really vulnerable to English attack, and like they moved to North Atlantic. This is not good for Franco-Anglican relations, right? That's not a good look for either of them. So let's just look at the moves, right? Let's stop dilly-dallying here.
Dilly-dallying.
Okay, so France gets greedy and moves Marseille to Piedmont, probably to attack me, because where else would that move? But their unit in Trieste gets disbanded, so they could have retreated into Piedmont, but now they're not able to because they basically like killed themselves. I'm moving Rome to Apulia so I can be prepared for when I get Ankara in Greece, so I have 2 open centers to actually build. Also, Apulia is honestly an underrated position for Italy because you can support hold every single one of your home centers without like, oops, you can support every single one of your home centers basically for free, because you need 2 navies to be here to bounce that out, you know. Yeah. And just look at the Austrian line of look at this, bro.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What's up with that?
Okay, so Warsaw tries to support Moscow into Sevastopol, but Warsaw doesn't border Sevastopol, so that doesn't work. So he doesn't get in. Sevastopol tries to support Black Sea into Romania, but their support is canceled by Moscow, so they don't get in. And Romania tries to support Bulgaria to hold, but their support gets hit, so it's canceled. It doesn't work. But since there's not 2 units attacking, it doesn't matter. Same thing with Bulgaria. It gets hit by Constantinople just so that Greece doesn't have support. And then I get into Greece because it doesn't have support to hold. So this whole line just works out in my favor, basically.
Oh my god, the dice is really rolled in your favor.
This was intentional. I did this on purpose. Other than this, I don't know. Other than this, I don't know what's going on over here. Like he could have.
You could never have predicted that Warsaw making the stupid move supporting Moscow.
Well, I mean, if you've seen Russia's moves in like the rest of the game, you probably could have inferred.
I mean, maybe you could have like thought, oh yeah, they're probably gonna be unpredictable, but you could have never thought that just that one move would have cascaded into you getting Greece for free.
I really like this move by England here, the Denmark convoy into Livonia. Like, that's really clever, I think, you know? Because you
very clever.
As England, right, you can super easily get right up next to Russia for free. Look, he tries moving Finland into Livonia again. I'm not crazy. Look, if that did actually work, it would have been able to bounce Denmark out, but it doesn't work because they don't border each other. So he gets bounced out of Finland. He has to retreat to St. Petersburg. Somehow, England makes the diplomatic stroke of genius and convinces France to move out of the North Atlantic. But France, 5 steps ahead, moves to the Norwegian because he never said that wasn't an option. This is so silly. The North Sea goes to Belgium, pretty standard. France is not trying to attack the lowlands. They're just supporting Munich. But they're gonna have some trouble now because Ruhr and Kiel are support holding each other. This is kind of hard to see, but that's what they're doing. So yeah, let's I don't remember
Oh
why
my
I pulled
god.
up the. It's to show the disparity of the regions, right? Because
Yeah, look at England. All of their moves succeed. This is so
all of
ridiculous.
basically, however many red ones they have is how poor they are doing, right? So Russia and Turkey are just dying, right? I'm doing all right. Austria is starting to crumble. And then France and England are doing great. Okay, the outlier is Germany, but they didn't lose anything, right? They might have forgotten to put their orders in. It doesn't really matter though. Like what could they have done? They could have lost Kiel if they didn't convoy here, or sorry, Berlin if they didn't convoy, but that was that wasn't an option. So
I don't seem to
winter,
think the rules to Russia are but a suggestion at this point.
yeah,
It's like
like
move it into Livonia 4 enough times, it'll work.
yeah, if you believe hard enough.
The rules are but a guideline to me.
hmm Okay, so
They're definitely not surviving this winter.
winter 1904, Austria is past their peak, right? They've successfully they are definitely on the decline at this point. I want to say France is honestly in their decline too, because it looks like they're overextended, but they're really not, because they have all their units concentrated, but
The
also
only
there's
thing
nothing here.
overextended is that one fleet in the Norwegian.
Yeah, the one fleet. Okay, they're trolling. I'll allow it.
They're flanking.
They're flanking. Oh, I remember distinctly. Oh, this is the winter. Okay, so yeah, I basically build what I did last time. England gets one build. People are disbanding. Nations are dropping like flies, but no one is out yet. It's 1905, and no one is out yet. I remember, I remember hearing a quote about Austria. If you can survive past 1904, you will survive the game. I mean, we'll see how that quote pans out, but you know, I remember very distinctly planning out this Bulgarian attack a lot because my fat fingers kept hitting on the east coast in the sandbox, so I had to make sure that all of these were gonna support into the south coast. So let's just see. And honestly, beautiful map, right? Basically, nothing is canceled. Basically, everything goes through. One of the main reasons, though, is that Austria doesn't move. And that kind of pissed me
Oh.
off, honestly, because I went through all this trouble, right? I set up everything so that it worked out in my favor, and they don't even attack. Like, they don't even try. Like, well, okay, wow. But that gives me free opportunity to move Rome Tuscany, and this French fleet is very annoying. So I moved Naples to the Turanian just to make sure that France doesn't feel too comfortable right next to all my home centers. Um, yeah. Oh, this stroke of genius here, right? Russia might claim this as their own idea, but I told Russia to do this, right? I told you've seen Russia's moves, right? You've seen Russia's moves.
No, but it's just funny you
I
helping
told Russia.
Russia to make the game a little more interesting.
Well, I have to help Russia, or else England is just gonna solo super easy, right? Because they're gaining all these centers
Ah,
super quickly.
they're like your body shield,
Yeah,
a
pretty much.
human shield.
Well,
Well, I
not
guess a
no.
nation
That would be like Austria. Austria is my shield, but I need Russia to be alive so that England doesn't win. Um.
shield.
So we've got Moscow moving against Livonia. With this like triple or double support, which is like paralleled at the bottom. That's a nice symmetry on the map.
Wait,
Sadly, that
does England take St. Petersburg?
England does get into St. Peters. They move Norway to St. Petersburg, so this unit gets dislodged.
Wait, look at the Norwegian fleet up there, the France. They're moving back.
Yeah, they're moving back to the North Atlantic. They are really just they could have taken Edinburgh, but I don't think they were expecting England to move out. They could have taken either of these actually. It is only spring, so they wouldn't have held on to it. But the only reason this worked to cancel this Livonian unit though is because me, Russia, and Germany all agreed to let Germany into Prussia. And what was gonna happen, we were gonna backstab Russia and let Berlin walk into Warsaw by convincing Russia to move out of it. But Russia was being a prick, so that didn't happen. Oh, here we go. This unit moves out of Bothnia. Fall 1905. I basically already explained this turn. I get Bulgaria. I kind of wish I were expanding faster than I were, but I'm not complaining that I'm like declining. You know, I'm not Austria basically. um, so let's just see the moves. I finally moved that unit out of Venice. I get support into Tyrolia, but it doesn't matter because this just moves in a circle. um,
Bro.
and this Albanian fleet is honestly really annoying for me. Because it's like, that's infuriating. France, they move out of the Mediterranean. England is, I guess they were expecting France to move to out of North Atlantic, but they just stay there, rather than trying to attack Liverpool. There's a lot of things that could have happened, but didn't. And Russia gets St. Petersburg back. Look at this. They get it back. Because it looks like Finland is supporting St. Petersburg to hold, right? But St. Petersburg doesn't give a hold order. They tell it to move to Moscow, which is canceled anyway.
Oh my god.
So this cancel order this move order doesn't work, and it doesn't count as a hold. So we'll have to retreat to like Norway. And I'm moving. It looks like I'm moving against Sevastopol, but I have Turkey as a vassal state at this point. So I'm gonna keep Turkey alive. That's the plan is not to take Sevastopol yet. And see, St. Petersburg retreats. Winter 1905. Austria finally mounts a offensive force against me. They've got free reign to move into Naples or Tunisia, but I have free reign to block them either way. So it's basically a guessing game, right? Sadly, Germany dies. I didn't want it to happen, but like Russia, you know, it was inevitable. So the first death, actually, winter 1905 for a first death is pretty late in the game, I want to say. So good on you, Germany, but your double fleet move, not the smartest one.
If only they realized it was fleets, not armies.
Yeah, they could have taken Warsaw like a long time ago. Anyway, let's just see the builds, and now the power disparity.
I can't wait for France to move that fleet into the Norwegian Sea again.
Now the power disparity is really obvious. Right, England gets 2 builds, and I get a build. Yeah, that's how English works, and no one else does. All right, spring 1906. I didn't mean to do it that early, but you know what? Austria makes the baffling decision not to take any of my centers, but to move to Apulia. They gotta support themselves into Apulia. I tried knocking them out so that this unit would get crushed, but that didn't happen. And this move out of Bulgaria, I kind of figured they would tap Bulgaria, so I moved out. But I made sure that I would be able to take it back in the next turn by convoying Armenia to Romania instead of taking Sevastopol. You see what I mean?
That's smart.
Mm-hmm. So I made sure. So I got Turkey as my vassal state to support me into Romania because they had nothing better to do. England is moving all their units south.
Oh, they could have taken Moscow, Turkey. Well, I'm not sure.
No, they've got a fleet there. They've got a fleet there.
Oh yeah. I would have made the same mistake. Oh no.
The Russian plague is getting to you. So I'm just supporting Venice to hold, and then supporting into Trieste so that I can take this, and I'll make sure that they don't get Bulgaria back. You know, pretty standard. England stabs France at this point. I almost didn't include that. And they take Munich because France was under the impression they could just move through and hopefully get into like this area. But England cancels that, so they've got this lone Bohemian army. And then Russia just gets wrecked in the north. Like, this is sad to see.
Yikes.
They tried moving all their units north. They should have moved Warsaw to Moscow to better like separate their units. But they should have support this to hold, and then move Warsaw, Moscow, so that they could support with double, even though they've got So it'd be 3 against 3, right? But instead, what
Mhm.
happens? England gets into St. Petersburg, and Russia really can't mount an offense against this anymore. And they've got an
Yeah.
army there too. So yeah, and now we see England. They're going fully against France at this point because they've got no Western enemy, right? They've got a northern enemy and a
Mhm.
southern enemy, but they need someone to go after.
Pretty much dominating.
Yeah, it's a very very
Very
double
one-sided right
game,
now.
So let's look at fall, right? We saw all these moves happen, and all right, so I'm gonna call in my tactical genius, right? Bulgaria. Look. I predicted this. I predicted this in the spring, right? So I made sure this would happen. I would
Mhm.
support myself into Serbia so that they couldn't get into
Okay.
Serbia, or I would get Romania, right? So I could either get Romania or Serbia. And then because they
Wait,
wouldn't be
how
because they couldn't
how
be
did
in
you
either of
support
these.
yourself into Serbia?
I've got a unit in Trieste.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna support
No, but you
Romania into Serbia with Trieste. That's probably gonna get canceled, and it did get canceled, right? And then I'm going to bounce them out of Constantinople so that I can support myself into Bulgaria and he will retreat into Romania. Um, but that so I keep my wall against Austria, and he's not like perforating and like getting units behind
yeah,
the
you're pretty much
line.
solid. You didn't lose anything, did you, in
No, I
this
didn't
turn?
lose anything, and I gained Serbia, so that's pretty good. I could have gained more than
Yeah.
one, but I had to retreat into Albania. And I also killed this Apulian navy because there's nowhere he can put it, right? Because
Mhm.
it only borders the
Yeah.
Adriatic and the
Everything's
Ionian.
pretty much closed off.
Yeah. And then I tell France, okay, you're gonna move to Tyrolia, and then I don't tell them that I'm moving into Piedmont after them because I haven't been for the past however many turns. So they're probably gonna believe that, right? But to the dismay of the
Devious.
French, I mean they're already kind of in shambles at this point. Like, look, they've got all of Germany and like the
Whoa! The
lowlands.
army in Bohemia
Yeah, the
is just sitting there.
France is like cut in half at this point. They've been sliced down the middle, and
Especially that one lead up there in the north.
they've been sliced into three, not evenly divided, but they have been.
We're making a pizza by this.
Look, and then England's in the mid Atlantic now, so they can take either Spain or Portugal, uncontested, literally dealer's choice, bro. And then at this point, England's like, okay, we're both really powerful, right? And I'm like, okay, why don't we do a two way draw, right? Because it looks like both of us are on the upside and everyone else is on the decline, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, well, we will divide France, right? I'm like, okay, I'll get Marseille and Spain and Portugal. And he's like, okay. Because then he'll get Brest, Paris, and then we'll cut the east. Like, I'll get all of Austria, but then we'll cut the east, like, evenly, right?
Yeah.
So,
But then you get
France has to disband. England gets more armies. I get a fleet. So spring 1907. Look at this English Isle. Like, I've never seen this before in a game, where it's full of armies.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's just look at the moves, and they're convoying everything away. So obviously it doesn't last because why would they keep all that stuff there? And instead of taking Iberia, they convoy this Liverpool army into Brest, which is a very interesting move. I think it's a smart move, but it's very interesting, you know. Um,
Mhm.
and it's good for me because it shows that they're not actively trying to take my future Iberian holdings, right? But I'm also
Yeah.
wary of England because, like, I don't want them to just run away with the solo. And I need France as a buffer against England. So I'm kind of propping up France, but in a way that it doesn't make it look like I'm propping up France, right?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Um, yeah. So Russia supports himself into Moscow. That was really unnecessary. They could have just bounced him out, even if they were trying to go in. But they move out in Livonia, and England moves in. It's looking really bad for Russia right now. I mean, it's always been looking bad for Russia, but like especially now. This is their lowest point yet.
They stepped up their game of looking bad.
Mm-hmm. France does bump England out of Picardy, but like, come on. Oh, also, all of the Austrian armies disband. So.
Oh my god, a massacre!
Yeah, he doesn't retreat any of them. Again, this is like infuriating because I spent all this time plotting for this to happen. He's like, well.
You were like preparing up for a formidable fight, and then it just a late fight.
Oh, this I've set up the slideshow wrong here, but whatever. We can just look at the map then. So England finally takes that opportunity. They seize Portugal, and I'm like, yeah, that was probably gonna happen. So I'm not too concerned. I'm moving all my fleets out though, so that they can't take all of this, because that would be really bad for me. France dislodges Munich, because look how many units they have next to it. So they're actually able to get that out.
Yeah.
And they... Okay. So what's going on here, right? Brest is supporting Belgium into Picardy. But Picardy is hitting Brest, right? So that should cancel, but it doesn't. So France has to retreat, and they retreat into Paris. Yeah, France retreat jokes. Russia mounts no defense against England, so they just take Warsaw. And I'm supporting Sevastopol to hold, just because, like, I don't want Russia to take it. Because that would be, I told Turkey I would let them live as long as possible if they help me out. And I want to honor that promise, And I take Budapest because Austria has nothing to defend against it. And now
Austria is dead.
Austria is not dead. They have one unit. They have one place left.
Oh, but, they can still build? Oh, okay.
Yes, they do have. They actually do have a build. Look at this. This is so stupid,
bro.
But we got France disbanding all of their units here, and it's just a bloodbath, honestly.
The game is wrapping up.
Yeah, you would think that.
Well, that's ominous.
No, the game is starting to come to a close. England builds an army and a navy for pretty obvious reasons. I build 2 armies because I feel like I have enough fleets at this point, and I need to start like doing land stuff.
You need to start preparing for that England frontier.
Just in case. And look at that beauty. 4 more builds. Obviously, I can only build 2. But
holy moly!
Spring 1908, and let's see the moves. Yeah, pretty obvious. I attack Austria.
Wait, next winter, do you still retain like 2 of those left builds, or are they gone?
Yes, because it's the amount of spaces that you have. It's not like some certain like build number. France moves back to the Norwegian behind all of the English lines.
Round? Did you see last round? It's a menace. It bounced off that fleet, England fleet.
Oh yeah, this North Atlantic fleet is like the best thing that ever happened to France. It's so funny.
It's such a menace, bro. It's such a menace.
So skipping past that, they move back to the Norwegian behind all of the English lines. So this is gonna throw England for a loop.
I said it.
I'm just basically moving all of my units away, because I've got to get them out of the home area where I was attacking Austria, and I've got to get them to mount a good defense against England, and I'm gonna use like this natural barrier here in Gibraltar, and I'm gonna use this stalemate line and like this pseudo stalemate line here. So I'm supporting into Spain so I can get that, and I'm moving out, and England is still fighting France. France is dead. Okay, France is dead.
Basically.
All of the, Paris is gone. Munich
so is
Austria.
Gone.
Well, okay, Austria was dead last year. so France has to retreat into Gascony and Burgundy. It's a sad sight to see, especially because I wanted them to live longer than that. Like, they did not live as long as I wanted them to. But is France dead? Is France dead? So at this point, England is really pressuring me to like divide up the board, and we're like, okay, we're gonna split the powers evenly, right? You'll get Moscow, I'll get Sevastopol. We're gonna split it evenly, and it'll be a 17-17 draw. So I'm taking, and look at what France does. France is not yet dead. Somehow. Like, if they tried to move to Edinburgh, they would have been bounced out. So they moved to Norway instead. Where did my mouse go? Oh, my mouse just disappeared for a second. The spoilers.
So Moscow.
You know, England takes Moscow as planned. I finally take out Sevastopol because Turkey was never really playing the game anyway. And England does a dick move and moves into North Africa. And I'm like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Because he is still going for the solo. I'm going for the 2-player draw because that's what we agreed on, but he is going for the solo, and I'm not letting that happen.
It is a backstabbing.
It is backstabber, but come on, man. Come on. So, yeah. All of these 3 just died. They all just died in the same turn in 1908.
You rotated the profile pictures.
Yeah, they're dead. So there's only 3 players left.
Is still alive.
There's only 3 players left.
Look, but that one thing in Pick.
Well, Pick that's gonna have to disband because he doesn't have the support to keep that.
Oh, okay.
Look at this though. You thought last turn I had a lot of builds? Check that out.
Oh my god.
Because I am making strides right now. That means I just got like.
Why'd you make more fleets? You made 2 more fleets. Was that really the right call? You said you wanted more army.
Yeah, but like
well, I guess
he's got all these fleets here, and I don't like that. So I want to build more fleets to defend against that. Because the plan was to move Tyrrhenian, Tunisian, and then Rome would follow, and then Naples, Ionian.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And then I could kick the British out. As intended. Right?
The British and their arse.
Yeah, literally. And then, you know, England stabs me and does a dick move and moves into Spain. Thank God for France, because they're still in Norway. So that means England is at 17, and then it's like, well, okay, England, okay. I see how it is. You see though? I moved into Tunisia, you know, moved down. And we're both building up defensive walls against each other so that this doesn't happen over here, right?
You killed your fleet in South Coast Spain.
Yeah, because there was nowhere it could retreat to because everywhere else was filled. So there was no retreat phase. So then we're in fall.
Oh, he probably planned that. That's why he moved to North Africa too. Oh, that's such a smart move.
Well, yeah, it didn't last for very long because he's a fucking idiot. Look at this. What kind of idiot lets the French into Norway? So I kick him out of Spain, but he also moves out of Spain. So I guess he was expecting that. I was like, bro, you need to move out of North Africa. So he moves out. He moves all his units up and away from the border, and I've got like these tri-pronged defenses against this guy. This Galicia looks really bad, but I was concerned that he might support himself, so I tapped Bohemia so that it couldn't support anything. Like he's even moving Moscow away. I can't take Moscow because this is a fleet. You know, it's pretty much a stalemate at this point, other than Iberia. And winter 1909, I get 2 builds. England doesn't get any builds. Doesn't really matter. Spring 1910, and we've just got like the defensive wall here. I'm tapping Mid-Atlantic just so he doesn't support into Spain. And England finally gets into Norway, right? And it's looking like the game will end. That's a mistake. And England makes the genius move of moving out of Norway in the fall.
Bro.
So
France is still alive?
France is still alive.
Bro.
I'm now supporting North Africa into Mid-Atlantic because I actually want it.
That
and to keep
one
the pressure
French
on.
naval fleet holding on
Well,
to to
it
like.
got disbanded because he was like, oh well, to kick out the French, you must fully eradicate them. But if he just stayed in Norway in St. Petersburg, the French couldn't have done anything. So I
Oh
don't know
my
what he was
god!
thinking by moving. Like he could have even supported Norway into
I
Barents or
think
Norwegian Sea into
he
Barents
may
rather
have
than
just
Norway.
gotten impatient. May have just gotten
I've made a
impatient and just moved.
severe and continuous lapse in judgment. So winter 1910 and France is still alive. I
What a
actually get a
cockroach of
build
a France.
somehow. Still getting builds. Yeah, see, France would have gotten a build, but I like these, or it's like captured by England, captured by England, captured by Italy. So you can't build there. And two of mine were occupied, so this would be my last build. So it's finally spring 1911, right? It's been 11 years. And I kick the English out of the mid-Atlantic because they were complacent. Look at this massive support hold. So this is like unreadable.
Wait,
Um,
England didn't do shit. They
yeah,
just
England didn't do anything. They just moved Skagerrak into Norway.
was that
Um,
on purpose or?
yeah, because he was lazy. But
Oh,
it's not like I could have taken any of their. I can't take anything that they owned here though, because I can't support into any other things. So there's no. They don't really need to be concerned, you know.
hmm.
This is the only place they need to be concerned, and they have to retreat into Gascony because they weren't. And so it's fall
Yeah.
1911, and you know, let's just hope England doesn't move out of Norway again. Thankfully, they don't. I could have taken Portugal. Would it have been right to take Portugal though? Do you think? To like after all
Um.
that, should I
Okay,
have?
since I am a neutral party, you guys did do an agreement, and he broke the agreement first. In my situation, if I was you, I would have taken Portugal, if not to win, but because he broke the agreement first. And in my mind, because like he towed the line first, I had the right to toe the line too. Maybe I would have like
That's
given
true.
it
I mean, he
back
did.
because like
He immediately went back on the stab and like actually retreated to where we agreed to though. So
yeah, I would
I'm not
have
sure.
taken it and then just like gave it back just to like make it
Well,
equal, you
if
know?
I took it in this turn, I would have won. Like this fall,
Oh,
1911. But
oh,
we
okay. I would have
agreed on
taken
a
it.
17-17 draw in like 1906, right? So this has been five in-game years in the making. I'm still
Also,
moving
I
on.
think
I'm
something that's
moving all
like
my units
a
though.
little
So.
untalked about is that if you guys in this kind of situation, if you guys agreed like on a two-way draw, and one of you like breaks the agreement, wins the game, like next diplomacy game, the relationships between you are gonna be sour. Like even if you like both agree not to like carry like
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know, resentment from the one game over to the next, it's gonna like carry whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
So like
I agree
also
with
like
that.
agreeing for a draw is also like an act of diplomacy because you know you're like preparing for the next game.
It's the name of the game.
Diplomacy.
If England did move out of Norway though, I was gonna stab them. I would take in like Moscow and like because I've got all these units here, and it's like, bro, you're the game is dragging on because you're being dumb. But no, like look at these moves compared to mine. Like hold Norway, and then everything else is
Yeah,
the
very
same.
complacent.
And I'm still doing all my stuff because I need to make sure
I
just in
guess they're
case.
just maybe a little assured in their victory at this point, or I guess like draw victory.
And it's finally winter 1911, and France is dead. Took them long enough, but France is dead.
Cockroach.
So, like, closing thoughts. I don't really have any closing thoughts. I just brought this in case you had anything to say. I mean, we already kind of
Cool
discussed,
game.
like, the post game.
Yeah, Turkey gave up on the game like as soon as it started. Russia thought the rules were just a guideline or maybe a
Hmm.
suggestion, not even like something concrete. France was a cockroach through and through.
I
England
mean,
played very
that's
well.
the. Okay,
Germany
I
Germany
think
made a
my.
lot of mishaps in judgment. Tried to play good. They would have taken Warsaw in that one turn. Overall, good game. Would
France
have
was
been
definitely
so much
my
more
favorite player.
interesting if
France was the MVP
people
for me.
stuck to it. What a
um,
cockroach! I swear to God.
yeah, so basically, it's like England was like Britannia,
Wait,
and I was like
what
Caesar.
statue is that about?
It's Britannia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
I am not knowledgeable in history. You're gonna
I'm
have to
like
explain
Caesar.
this
Oh,
one to
it's
me.
mythology. It's not a real person.
Ah,
Um,
ah.
so thanks for watching. It was actually the battle for Portugal.
Valentine's
It was
Day
actually
is
battle for
festive.
Portugal all along.
It was all
It
Portugal.
was
It
all
all came
Portugal.
down to
It's
that.
all coming up Portugal. Okay. Yeah.
GG.
I might make another one of these for the St. Patrick's one. If
You'd
no, I
have to
don't. I
bring
actually
another
don't
guest.
care if people. Who would be a
I
good
vote that you
neutral
bring another
guest?
guest, maybe.
Who'd be
I
a
have
who?
no clue. Someone new to the game, maybe. Like you'd have to explain to them, like,
But
because
I don't
I'm
want to
I'm
explain
guessing
all
when
the
you put up this
rules.
video, not all the rules, but like I get. I would want to say that people who are gonna watch this video, maybe most of them wouldn't be knowledgeable about diplomacy. So like bringing another person that's like new might also like help the viewer relate and like they'd ask questions the same way like someone who doesn't know diplomacy would ask, and like it would help the viewers coast along for the ride. I feel like. Well, it's just suggesting anyway.
Well, yeah,
No
okay.
rush.
I'll think about it. So, thanks for watching. Did I already
GG.
say? I think I already said that. Yeah,
Bye bye.
diplomacy.
GG.
Actually, okay. Another reason we should keep the the two-way draw is because it's Valentine's Day diplomacy, right?
Wow, two people. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
I'm cutting the recording now.